Nityanandam, this is Manitya Swatantira Priyananda, and this morning my topic is about what to do when someone gets angry at you. So, yeah, how should you react? What should you say? What should you do? So, you have a few options. I mean, the first option is what most people do. Just out of hurt feelings, you can just reply back some snappy comment and see if that makes you feel better, but that's not the option that I would recommend. So, yeah, when there's a situation where someone, comes up to you and starts shouting at you or throws some kind of like tantrum at you, this is what I would recommend. So, first of all, always take a step back. Don't let yourself become like absorbed in that emotion, because it's very easy to get caught up in the emotion and then you start getting emotional and then you start saying nonsense, and then that doesn't solve the situation. So, take a step back, be very clear that you are not you are not that emotion. Okay, so stop identifying yourself to that emotion or whatever the person is saying to you. Then second step, very important, is to take responsibility. So from what the person is saying, you have to look in. So you look in at whatever feeling is being created inside of you from what you're actually seeing on the outside. And then you have to be very honest with yourself. You have to ask yourself, where is this coming from? Why is it happening? And look at, look at your integrity and authenticity at that moment and see if you can make improvements from there. And then the third part is also very important. Once you've done the second part of looking in and taking responsibility for whatever you are responsible for, then you have to be able to stand up for yourself, and not fall into powerlessness in front of someone else's tantrum. Because always remember that whatever they're angry about, you're reflecting something in them. So they have to do the same step number 2 that you did. And they have to look in to see where it is that, their integrity and authenticity was compromised. Because that's all it is. That's all a conflict is. It's when there's a gap in authenticity or a lack of integrity, and the first instinct obviously is to blame the other person, to look outside, but always look in, and always complete. Also, never stay with these feelings of being hurt or upset. So always do the completion process, and so these are 4 steps. So number 1, you distance yourself from the situation because you are aware that you are not that. You are not like this emotional outburst. Second, you take whatever is happening in front of you, the words, and then you look in. You can connect to your Anandaganda, which is this part here of the body. So you connect to that part and you look in very honestly. Third part, you stand up for yourself, but out of a complete space, after doing step number 2. Don't just stand up for yourself by saying nonsense without looking in first. So then, standing up for yourself in a complete space. So wherever the other person is being inauthentic, you point that out to them, because they also have to do the same step 2 that you did. And then 4 is just, like a general recommendation to always be in that state of completion. So whenever you feel like there's some leftover, like some hangover, then you have to go and do the completion process. And I actually have a video about it, but if you want to know how to do it in more detail, just make a comment below and I'll be able to help you out. And so conflicts are we tend to become very dramatic about it, but honestly it's only a game. You only reflect something in each other, and once you realize that, have that awareness, the whole heaviness and dramatic effect of it just, it just disappears. And also one more thing that Swamiji has said, in satsang, is that, like a lot of people want to avoid those situations, those conflictual situations, and so they walk away, or, they don't express whatever is inside of them. But Swamiji has said in the past that you will never find peace by avoiding conflict. Finding peace comes with facing it, facing the conflict, and facing it in the sense that I just explained. Again, not just like, like reacting to the tantrum of the other person, because then it just creates a mess. Yeah, so if you need more help, you can write me below, and I'm here for you. Thank you. Nityanandam.